Well, just like that, another Friday is upon us, and that means it's time for another edition of the Speaking for Him podcast. I'm Adam McNutt, alongside the host of the program, Mr. Andrew Gomison.
Hello, Adam, and today we are featuring another interview with a director from Master Arts Theater. I'm very excited to be sharing this interview with Todd Clemons, who is directing Fiddler on the Roof, which is coming to Master Arts September 1st through the 30th. And I don't have a quote of the day for this show, but those who are familiar with this show will be familiar with such songs as Matchmaker, Matchmaker, and Do You Love Me, and If I Were a Rich Man. These are all classic Fiddler on the Roof songs, and, you know, I remember Fiddler on the Roof was one of those shows. I don't know if you ever had this, Adam, but there were a couple movies that when I was a kid, they just seemed so long, and I think the first couple times I watched them, I didn't really make it through the whole thing without falling asleep. And I'm pretty sure Fiddler on the Roof was one of them, another one being The Sound of Music.
I was going to say, I'm on that same team, yep.
So those are just some memories I have about the show. I've seen it on stage several times. Well, I don't know about several, but a couple times, I think. But I'm still excited to see it again on Master Arts stage. Again, it's an intimate venue with a small staging area, but we seem to pull off these big productions anyway. So I'm very excited to share with you this interview, and after we hear it, then we'll be back with some closing thoughts. So this is Todd Clemons from Master Arts Theater. Hello, this is Andrew Gomison once again on location at Master Arts Theater for another episode of the Speaking for Him podcast. Today we are talking with Todd Clemons, the director of Fiddler on the Roof, which is coming in September. So thank you, Todd, for joining us.
Thank you,
for this interview. Very excited to talk to you. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the highlights so far of directing Fiddler on the Roof?
Well, first off is the cast. I've got a tremendous cast. They're just great to work with, and this is the first production I've ever directed here at Master Arts, and I've been in 2 shows, but this is my first time directing. But I've also been overwhelmed by the sheer support from non-cast members, supporting in props and costumes and set. It's been a blessing.
All right. Why did you want to direct this show? Do you have a history with this show, or?
Actually, yes, I do. This will be my 3rd time doing Fiddler on the Roof, and the first time I played Montel. The second time I was Avram, and so when they announced Fiddler on the Roof, I decided, this would be a good one for me to put in my name as a director. And I've directed in the past, and since I was so familiar with the show, Chris McDonald did give me the go to do it. Now, technically, I am co-director. Randy Burkhart is the other co-director, but what we're doing basically is I'm doing the staging, and he's primarily the music.
And that's a good collaborative. I know when I worked with Sound of Music, I was assistant acting director, and we had, Nancy Peters was our music director. She's no longer with she's gone home to be with the Lord, but it was great to work with her on that show, and just to work on a show that meant so much to me, because Sound of Music's always been one of my favorite shows, so to bring it to life was really cool. So, can you tell us about some of your other theater experience?
Yes. I do believe this is only like a 10 or 15 minute interview, so I don't have time to do them all. I'm proud to say that I have been involved in theater and music since I've been 15, and I'm now. I've done, most of my concentration has been musical theater. The highlights of my career is I played Mary and Sam in Little Abner. I played in music band. I was in the barbershop quartet, and my biggest blessing to me is my favorite show of all time is Godspell, and I've actually done that show 5 times. I was behind the scenes once. I have been in it twice, and I've directed it twice.
All right. Well, I've heard about that one. I have not had the chance to see that one, but I may have to check that out. Can you tell us a little bit about the cast that you assembled for this show?
Well, unfortunately, because of my advanced age, I can't list them all. But I can tell you it's a diverse cast. We have about 38 cast members. It's a very large show. And it's a very diverse age. We have from, I do believe, 10 years old all the way up to 60. And Brenda Van Ark is playing Golda. And Walt Rieger is playing Tevye. And those are the only 2 that I can remember, not because they're the most important. That's all my brain can hold.
All right, I understand that. When we did Sound of Music, it was a 38-person cast, I think, and so for me to reel them all off would have been difficult as well.
When it comes to casting, Andy, another blessing I've received is one of my challenges with doing this show was the dancers. And I was blessed with 6 dancers that came out. I didn't have to worry about it at all. They're great. They're doing the traditional Jewish wedding dance. They're doing the traditional bottle dance. And they have no problem wearing beards because they're supposed to be men.
All right. Well, that's a blessing when you can get the talent that you want to right off the bat. I know I just came off a show here where we had to scramble to make sure we assembled everyone. So what a blessing that is. Of course, the popularity of Fiddler on the Roof as a show probably helped a lot.
I had 62 people audition.
Yeah, that's that's a good number, especially for this place. So, okay, now to get into some details about the show, can you tell us about the run? When does it run?
Yes, basically it runs the entire month of September. We open the week after Labor Day, and we're scheduled to close around the 31st of September. However, we're anticipating possibly, maybe, holding another week over, depending on ticket sales. So I do recommend that your listeners call the office and get the reservations in right away. And we're also adding a secondary Sunday matinee performance for a fundraiser for the Salvation Army. I do not have any direct information on that. Anyone could call the office during 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, to get information on tickets and that special show. That's really good. I know we've done those before, and so that's exciting. And how do we get tickets? What you can do is you can call the box office. The box office is open Monday through Friday from 8 until 5. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you the number. I haven't memorized it yet, if I can find it.
And I can just give that. It's 616-455-1001, and the box office hours are 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. So make sure that you get your tickets. I believe they went on sale August 1st, and so they're going to sell out very quickly because this is Fiddler on the Roof. So make sure that you get your tickets. All right, well, we're about to wrap up this interview, but first, but the last thing I like to do is I usually ask people when I do these interviews for Master Arts, if you were going to give someone a 30 to 45 second reason why they should come to this show, Fiddler on the Roof specifically, what would you say?
Fiddler on the Roof is the story of Tevye, Golda, and their family. And it is based on the books Tevye and his daughters. It is a based on Jewish faith and Jewish traditions, but it's such a blessing because it's pro-family, it is joyful, and it really sticks to your heart.
Well, that's awesome, and as I can attest, I haven't been to a bad show here at Master Arts. I can definitely tell you some that I've appreciated more than others, but they've all been good. And with Master Arts being an intimate venue that sells out at about 100, you'll want to make sure to get your tickets fast. So, with that being said, thank you, Todd, for joining us today, and I hope to see many of you at the show.
Thank you, Andy.
And that is my interview with Todd Clemons, and I want to thank Todd for taking the time to sit down with us. I do apologize for the audio quality there. I thought we were going into a quiet office, and there ended up being like an air conditioning vent or unit or something there that kind of made the audio loud. But I hope that you're able to hear it and enjoy it, and I hope that you will get your tickets today, and that you will be out at the show. I think my family is coming on the 30th of September. As of this recording, that's when we're coming anyway. We'll see how that works out. But we hope to see you out at Master Arts for Fiddler on the Roof, and I hope that you will come enjoy this classic show. As I said, it's just great music. I have great memories associated with it from watching the old movie, as I said before, and I'm sure that the stage production at Master Arts will be good as well. So I look forward to seeing it, and I hope to see many of you out there at one of my favorite places in the world, Master Arts Theater. So with that, I think we'll wrap up the show and just say have a great weekend and keep serving the best of masters.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. Your host has been Andrew Gomison, founder of Speaking for Him, alongside his co-host and executive producer, Adam McNutt. For more information on today's show and to leave us comments and voicemails, visit speakingforhim.blogspot.com. You can find Andrew's ministry at speakingforhim.com. That's speaking, 4, HIM. You can also interact with us at facebook.com/speakingforhim and on Twitter @SpeakingForHim. And when you look for us on iTunes and Stitcher, let us know what you think of the podcast by leaving a rating and review.